G'day, Steve Morgan here for Fishing Monthly Magazines at Mercury's international launch of their new outboard motor platform, and I'm with Kris Hickson. And Kris, you must be the first guy in Australia, maybe one of the first guys in the world, to have one of these new Mercury V8s on the back of your Phoenix bassboat. Yeah. And we know you like speed, we know you like new technology motors. I don't even know what's in the back of this thing because we haven't had the media briefing yet. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, last night we had the release, and it's a 4.6 litre V8. The benefit of it, it's coming in lighter than the Verado was, so it's pretty much back to the weight of the Optimax. I think it's about 10 kilos heavier than the old V6 Optimax. So that's the engine it's going to replace, and from the short amount of time we've had it on there, it's definitely going to do the job, I think.
Now, on this Phoenix bassboat before, you had one of the L6 Verados, weigh about 300 kilos. This thing back down to what, 240? Yeah. So you've dropped 60 kilos off the back of your boat straight away. What does that mean for performance?
For one, I can get in shallower water now because the back of the boat's not dragging as much. But when we put the Verado on, we pretty much had to put lithium batteries in to get the back of the boat up, so we weren't getting swamped all the time. Now with this thing, I don't have to worry about that as much anymore. It's going to come off pad a lot easier without swamping the back of the boat. Reversing up, it's not going to come over the back deck. It just makes it a lot nicer package to drive around as well.
Now, the different versions of this motor, tell us about, like, if you've got a standard hydraulic steering in your boat and you want to repower, that works on this motor, but it also plugs into that power steering ecosystem of the Verado. So to pull the Verado off and put it on, it was just plug and play, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. They've done one platform the whole way through, and every variation you can conceivably think of to suit pretty much any boat type, any setup. So yeah, I've got the electro hydraulic steering from the old Verado. They just bolted it on. If you had straight hydraulic steering, they could have bolted that on, and then you've got the option of the same as the old Verado with the AMS, so the mounting system, the soft mounting system, a little bit heavier, but for the bigger boats that are offshore and don't want that vibration when they're cruising around, you got that option as well. So they've literally have covered every base possible.
Now, this is the ProXS version of the motor. This is the one that the tournament guys, the bass boaters, are going to be interested in. How is that different from the normal platform?
They've done it in a bigger range of sizes. They've gone from 200 right to 300, so 200, 225, 250, 300. They've also brought in some of the other ones. It's basically like a baffling system in the exhaust, so you can drive around stealth mode, quiet, if you want a nice quiet ride. If you want it to sound like the real V8 it is, press a button, opens the exhaust up, and it sounds like it. The ProXS, straight V8, it sounds hot. Yeah,
you don't buy one of these for stealth, do you?
No, that's for sure.
Now, lastly, tell us about the looks of this motor. I thought as a V8 it was going to be a really big motor. It doesn't look much bigger than the 3.4 litres, does it? I
was actually quite surprised. I wasn't a massive fan of the shape of the new one in pictures. It just wasn't something that I gelled to, but come in person, they actually look a lot better, and once you put them on a boat, they've definitely stayed with the same sort of styling, changed the top of the cowl a little bit, but it's physically doesn't look that much bigger than the V6 is, so it's pretty impressive to get all 8 pots under that.
Yeah, and it's 2 more cylinders than your Verado, and it's a much smaller profile than the Verado.
More profile, yeah, because it's not that inline 6. It doesn't have to be really high, and it doesn't have to sit right down in the water as well. So the Verado, with the weight of it and the height of that block, it was always sitting pretty close to the water line. This thing, as you can see at the back of the boat now, I reckon I've gained 2.5 inches of height in the back.
So, first impressions on a scale of 0 to snap your doodle, how excited are you?
Snap your doodle.